Chelsea across 6 games have won all of them. And Nina your matches are now you expect Chelsea beshe. In fact, say watch the number of games are not Chelsea able in recent times are. We expect to say Chelsea beshe matches now what startation. But Brentford match a different conversation. So watch Chelsea in Brentford history. Chelsea struggles on the Brentford elbow, especially at Stamford Bridge. And so kind last season. One of the best goals he nominated in the conversation was throughout the league last season was from Yohan Wissa. Chelsea versus Brentford. Brentford this season have been very good. It is coming from a manager called Thomas Frank. Team not already very physical, almost technically very good, and also well coached. They be amidin Komaka Chelsea. In the 3 phases of football, technical side, tactical side, and the physical side, no. Brentford for are very, very physical. And technically, so they are also good a set of players. Once they have a very good coach that helps them with the tactics of our game, so in game preparation. And in the last few years, Graham Porter, Thomas Tuchel, even with a bunch of friend Mauricio Pochettino, Chelsea have consistently struggled to play against team and friend Brentford. Any match Chelsea for be a little bit worried. But the record for Chelsea is anything to go by there. Then I think Chelsea are in a good place. So already 6 games in a row. Chelsea quite away Astana. One thing that was good is that Chelsea game no on Sunday they not travel to go and play against Astana. Pedro Neto Penena, the main senior player in attack or travel here. On so they accumulated yellow cards in everybody this weekend. So Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, Jadon Sancho, Mihailo Modric, Nicolas Jackson, Omunyina fresh. All of them stayed in London in preparation for some match. Now, I didn't think I could focus a match here tough. So what's your Brentford? Every time that they are playing in the English Premier League, ASR very, very excellent 5-4-1. Me see, who any manager in the history of the game who is probably one of the best in terms of playing the 3-back system, no, than Abrantes friend Thomas Frank with 2 attackers because consistently they have 5 players in the middle of the pack and then up top 2 players Abrantes friend Brian Mbeumo and Abrantes friend Yohan Wissa having 3 centre backs that are very good at the back, very aggressive for you, and I think it's going to be similar to the game against Aston Villa. Not the same, but they're very similar. Aston Villa for were very compact in blocking passing lanes and making sure that Chelsea ain't ball in between the lines. And Chelsea calls our game in him with 2 number 10s, was adding an extra +1 in build-up. I'm expecting Chelsea because our match with a lineup of very, very different ones than in the last few days. So, who's Chelsea team now? And you want to say, say Ochina Chelsea ko boss our match na Cole Palmer will start from the right wing. No we can drop it. Because say me kind of so Brentford are very physical. But you want your physical players in there. Romeo Lavia Fimu in the first half against Tottenham Hotspur. I'm hearing say Obey fit and ready to play against Brentford. So I'm expecting say Chelsea will go back into the back 4 in the second half against Tottenham Hotspur. Malo Gusto, Benoit Bellachile, and Brentford friend Levi Cole with Marco Correa. Now Marco Correa will push into the left half space as a left-sided number 10. Anytime Chelsea do have the ball, whilst Abrantes friend Enzo Fernandez is going to be the +1. It is a Chelsea back 4 in here. On the left hand side, we have Marco Correa pushing in into the number 10. Now back to the Levi Cole, Benoit Bellachile, and Abrantes friend Malo Gusto. Of course, there's going to be Moise Caicedo and Abrantes friend Romeo Lavia. Then Enzo Fernandez will drop as a +1. So Brentford for a person as one person aggressive to win the American superiority now. Whilst Abrantes, your friend Marco Correa will go in between the lines. Chelsea here players. Once they bypass the first line of personnel, then Enzo Fernandez will come to the left half space. Then Marco Correa will drop. Send about Chelsea bits my recycle possession on the press, on my counter press here. I think it's a tough game. But then the fact that this Chelsea team is a little bit different than the previous Chelsea teams in your mabo. Technically, Chelsea have what it takes to play against Brentford. Tactically, they also have a very good coach, and physically, so all the Levi Cole, Moba, and Romeo Lavia, Moba, they should be good enough to play in a game like that in some match against Tima, your friend Brentford. I don't know what prediction here.
Nana Kite on Facebook or say Thomas Tuchel won 6 games in a row, but Brentford scored him on the 7th game.
Yeah, 4-1.
So Maresca should be very, very careful because anything can happen.
Yeah, 4-1.
Brentford for no matter.
Oh yeah.
So how we sending him Biomus and why not?
But
very, very clinical.
Also by way of statistics, Brentford from this season will feel at home. Almost that Chelsea in terms of teams so much the most goals from open play, non-penalty goals. But almost quite away, they are scoring less than 10 goals, so they struggle when they play away from home. And again, what I'm also saying is that I think the team way Enzo Maresca team way more of the tools than I saw under Brentford friend Thomas Tuchel. This is a team that physically so about Lavia and about Caicedo they can compete. Ometima is very aggressive. The only issue is how aggressive Benoit Bellachile can be with Chinonom. Only a little bit of a question mark. But in build-up technical ability, Gusto, Lavia, and Bellachile should be able to play out from the back. Then the creative ability of Cole Palmer, Abrante Efreno, Jadon Sancho from the other side, and then of course Nicolas Jackson up top. No, I think it should be good enough to play against a team like Brentford. All the very, very, very tough. Maresca should be careful. I think that's a spot-on analysis from Messi. You know, he should be careful. But I also think that Chelsea has what it takes to get a job. Now to the big one. Big one. Which one? Baby at Chelsea down. It's so keeping momentum. And it's almost dropping. Because when you begin to drop, that is where a lot of pressure boys. So then you ask questions of how ready you are. So Chelsea need to keep the momentum. Which Manchester Derby. Manchester Derby ready as a bad thing.
Are they?
As a neutral, so yeah, enjoy it. Because two teams now are in a good place.
Ubia team
yeah.
But
one guy's on your channel. One or that's not 2 points, but also so your channel.
Or start India.
And then the net is
only could do.
And I
say, Yakofa coach or Yadi. And Kofi, young far grown twinche. Look, I'm a room by no. Ye result na a penal. But Bia was a Manchester rich. Who's a
rich, Michelle?
Jade.
And rich him.
Then I'm teaching.
Rich, not a boy, Shabiana. It takes him a winner.
I didn't know I'm teaching.
Nanjabe teach him, yeah.
When I'm sitting,
I'm put a barney, a cabby house here, and you didn't know the bit him and teach himself. Now can you him? You munya results now more penal and debut munya results now more penal. But your man and munyan to was here. One who signs and symptoms. No who signs and symptoms. Signs and symptoms there, a befa. That's it. Munya kawa, yen. Why? Yen. Sunday. Listen, we shape Manchester City.
Yeah, sure.
And the most important thing. It's him. I think that I am tilting towards the Manchester United getting something out of this game. And I don't see United losing match. And these are my reasons. Michel City team against Juventus. For me, that was the breaking point for me. Now I see a lot of colleagues that are saying, their City go through. They don't see them coming out of that anytime soon. But I doubted it. My saying, Pep Guardiola, you need to watch Kakra. But against Juventus, I watched that game and I told myself, no, City are in a very, very, very bad place. Rich, Omoko game against Juventus. This was the starting lineup. A starting lineup of Josko Vardiol, Ruben Diaz, Kyle Walker, and Abrante Efreno, Rico Lewis making the back four. Then went on to play Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, and Abrante Efreno, Erling Haaland, and Doku up top. Rich, one thing that was very clear inside Juventus match, and they said, City teams, any Pep teams, they press and counter press well. This is the lead up to the first goal at Juve for the share. Counter press was too passive, too calm, no aggression on Fiifi. And it is because you look at the personnel involved and they don't have the legs to do that. Share the way Juve for the ball on the form. And by the third pass, Juve were in through going to score. But even away from that, Rich, so Ultra City for midfield inside game against Juventus. It is a midfield of Bernardo Silva, Ilkay Gundogan, and of course Abrante Efreno, Kevin De Bruyne. That is on paper. When it was in game, you had Abrante Efreno, Rico Lewis inverting into the middle of the park, Adding to Ikai Gunwan, any Bernardo Silva, and sometimes even Jack Grealish. Rich, where is the physicality on Fiifi on? And you see, main person conformance just because Rodri is out. But when you look at Rodri, apart from the fact that technically and tactically very good, no, very physical and combative. So, that side of the game, Rodri Cascante was good in that regard. But you look at this midfield, and there is a lack of physicality, and physicality is very important. In a midfield of Manuel Locatelli, they run through them. Now you will flip the coin and go to Manchester United. There are pure physical monsters in there that can win duels. And on any day, I know Sir Brentford friend Ruben Amorim will relish playing a Brentford friend Manuel Ugarte in the middle of the park. He would want to play at least Casemiro in the middle of the park. Casemiro if you him. But in terms of combativeness, not physicality or FIFA, Casemiro can win duels. And then from the physical point of view, in terms of the analysis of Sir Gabriel, City at a huge disadvantage. Again, Manchester United and a coach by Brentford friend Ruben Amorim. When Ruben Amorim was leaving the Abelarde in his last game, he played in the same 3-back fashion. Having 3 centre backs, 2 midfielders that were combative and aggressive in winning duels, then having wing backs that will keep their weight for him. And remember the same thing, in fact, at United, he even has a better wing back in Amad Diallo, who some nice football. And if you watch Amad Diallo today, playing for Manchester United, I see so a new player. Consistently playing well with weights on him. Then on the other side, he can play a certain Marcus Rashford. Whilst and now can catch him say the red hot Hoyland starting and scoring boots, scoring 2 goals against him, my friend Victoria Pearson. So when you look about how City are not pressing well, how against a United team now will be more physical than them. How as also even how they can break down this United team and they are not too confident. I think so United go into the game with some level of an edge, and Pep Guardiola is in serious trouble. Going to play against team, your friend Manchester United. For me, the Misika and Ruben Amorim team also. I think they Ruben Amorim Manchester United. And Yeshe Krano, a double chance. Manchester Cromonum in the Manchester Derby. I think that we've been able to come through everything in terms of Manchester and then said 3